Welcome to another tutorial. This is on presentation software called Powtoon. Powtoon is a free presentational software application. There are also some paid versions. There are some good deals for educators, but you do not have to have one of the paid versions. You will have some limitations with the free version. The website, Powtoon.com, will take you to this landing page. You can sign up. You can sign up with a Facebook account, your Google Plus account, or a LinkedIn account if you'd like, along with an email address. Once you have an account, you will click Login. I'm doing that now. I'm going to use my Google Plus account. That's the one that I have been using. And so I have some Powtoons that I've already created here. For our purposes, we're going to start a new Powtoon. So we will hit Create. And it will load templates. There's a lot of templates for you to choose from. You can narrow them down by filtering the results. The results currently are on all. You can do a school and education and narrow it down. Maybe training. You will have access for the free account to anything like these four. If it says premium, that means you must have one of the paid accounts in order to be able to use this template. Though you can use a template that's already here, I'm going to start with a blank template. So a blank template is now loading, and it just takes a few seconds. So this is your screen. I'm going to talk briefly about some of the buttons and icons that you will see here. This is your stage where you will be adding items, adding animation, sound, video, whatever you need to do. This is your timeline. This is your play button, which will turn into a pause button. It allows you to go to the end, play from the current slide all the way to the start, play and continue from this particular spot, or play the current slide only. These are the various slides that you will have. We start right here. Whichever slide you are on will be highlighted in the darker color so you know where you're at. There's movie mode and slideshow mode, which is similar to a PowerPoint. We're going to keep it in movie mode. The plus and the minus allow you to add an additional slide in your line or to delete one that you no longer need to use. Along the top, we have New. This will allow you to create a new Powtoon. Save. Obvious what that one does. You need to periodically come up here and click on Save during your presentation. Powtoon does not have autosave as one of its features, so you want to periodically hit save yourself. Cut, copy, and paste. You all know what that is. You have the ability to add sound, to add an image, to add text, and then if you're adding text, this is where you will identify the font and the style. You have bold, italicized, underline, and then you have various centering, left justified, right justified centering. You also have some coloring options. When you are done, one of the options of things that you can do with this presentation is to export it to YouTube. Now, if you're going to do that so that you can get a link or the embed code, you need to eventually link this Powtoons account with your YouTube account, and you're going to want to use your Baker College YouTube account. Down in the timeline, you'll see that it's listed as 10 seconds. That's the default. A Powtoon presentation can be no longer than 5 minutes. It can be less, but 5 minutes is the max. Each slide can max out at 20 seconds. Can be anywhere from 1 second to 20 seconds. If I need additional time, which I can add at any time during my building of the presentation, I click the plus to add seconds and the minus to take seconds away. Now we're going to look at our toolbar over here on the right. This is where everything happens. You have styles. You have arrows where you can move and get additional styles. Anytime you see a more style, that means you must have one of the paid plans, so you could upgrade from that spot if you were willing to do that. Again, you don't need to do that. Any of these other styles that don't have more underneath them, and notice when we get to a style, what's listed as our tools below changes. I'm going to go back to the default. This is what a lot of people do when they get started. This is a good place to start right here with our picto style. Every area here, every toolbar has certain things that it'll do. You can have plain text. You can have this little hand with a pen that will actually write the words that you want to put on your stage. You have a word that appears and disappears, and you can have words that are scaling down. If there are more effects, you'll have a more here, which gives you some additional choices. This is letters bouncing, letters rolling away, and you can see how that works. So you have the ability to have text effects, you have image holders. If you wanted to bring an image in, we said that was over here to import an image, you can bring the image in full frame, or you can have the image show up in a player screen, in a television screen or a computer screen, and again, we have more options there. You have various characters. You have male and female characters in all kinds of different poses. You can have characters with animation. This one appears to be talking. This one is playing a guitar, flexing the muscles, and flying. Again, male and female images. You can get to those by hitting more. Various props that you can put on your stage. Here's a light bulb, a heart, money, and again, there's more. You have markers, so once you identify something, you place it on the stage. You have the ability to circle an item in red. You can point to it with one of the arrows, cross it out, and again, more options. Shapes and some transitions. And finally, down at the very bottom is backgrounds. That's usually the first place you start. You pick your styles, and then you go to backgrounds. So again, more and less. When you go to more, you actually have some different colors of choices down here. So I'm going to pick this green background here. And now anything that I'm going to want to place on the stage, I identify it by first clicking on whatever I want. In this case, I said add text. I double click in this box to edit it. You'll notice that I have handles here. I'm allowed to make it a different size. I can actually click and drag to move this box in any way that I want. Okay. Click outside the box. I can add some additional text. Now I have a number of different options. I can, let's say I want to identify that I'm going to have a presenter here, this particular image. I can kind of put this where I want and then go in and grab these sizing handles and place this individual here. I'm going to do something on the next slide. I have the ability to change the background if I want, or I can use the same background, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to put a light bulb on here. I'm going to make it a little larger. Let's see what else we got here in props. I'm going to put the earth and put that down here in this corner. Again, I'll reduce that by going back into the more that opened up and knocking it down to less. I think since my color of the earth is blue, I think I might go in and change this to yellow. See how once I've already started, I can still go in and make that transition and change that to a different item. So notice that each one of these items that I've put on, let's go back to the first slide. We have this text here. If I click on that text, it's showing that's this particular text right here, and it's showing that it's starting at the 1 second mark and it's going to move in. I have the ability to add transitions, different types of ways. I can have it scroll up, down. I can have it fade in. I can have it come in from the right or left. And I can have various types of, there's a hand gesture which shows a hand that will push this item up here if I want to do that. I can also play from this particular spot to test everything as I'm doing it along the way. Notice I have this other text item here. That's this text, and when that's popping in. That's popping in at the 2-second mark, and then this individual is popping in at the 3-second mark, and that's because that's the order that I placed them in. If I want them in a different order, I can change. So this is going to come in right at the beginning. Test Powtoons is going to be on. Let's Begin is now on. It's coming in 2 seconds. Maybe I want that to come in at 1 second. And this individual character, maybe I want this character to come in at 2 seconds. If I decide that I want this character to not stay till the end, I can have this character go off at 6. Again, this slide is currently 10 seconds long. So the other items are going to stay on for whatever length I have them. That's going to go off at 10, and I can see that because it shows it right to the end. That's going to start, and that's going to go off at 10 as well. Maybe I want this first one. So maybe I want that to go off at 9, or say 9.5. I also have the ability to add sound. Now the sound can be a number of different things. I can actually do a voiceover. In other words, I can actually record me narrating these particular slides if I would like. I have the ability to adjust the volume. Again, you have to pay attention to whatever you're going to do as far as what you're going to say. The slide maxes out at 20 seconds. So this cannot be any longer than 20 seconds. If I start to record, don't like what I recorded, I can actually just start over. I can send it to the trash can. But maybe I don't want to record myself. I don't want to record my voice. I have some other options. I can import a voiceover from an audio file that maybe I have. So maybe I used Audacity or some other audio capture program. I could actually use that instead of recording here on the spot. I also have the ability to import a music track. I can either have it looped or play once, and I could determine how long that length is going to be. I can also choose from a list below. Now, anything that says add here over on the side, I can use. They're free. Anything that says upgrade, and you can see there's a lot of upgrades, those I can only get access to if I had a paid version. So one of those premium versions. And if I'm going to add one of those, whether it's an audio voiceover or an audio music track, I would hit apply, and then that has now been added to my slide just like the other items had. This particular point I'm not going to do this, so I'm going to hit cancel. I'm actually going to show you those in a part 2 of the Powtoons. This is just part 1, and I'm just trying to familiarize you with all of the different aspects here. So excuse me, again, we're just going to go to slide 3. I'm going to go to more and choose a different color. Let's go back to our blue this time and make that a little lower. I'm going to put some animation in here. I'm going to add some text. It's very powerful. Let's see what else I got in here. Scroll down a little bit. Let's grab this thumbs up item here. So we'll put that in that spot. Maybe I'll make that a little larger. So we have 3 slides. I'm going to go back to this one. We didn't really put any text in here. Again, I will grab it and move it where I need it to be. And let's see. Let's grab this. And I'm going to add some exit and enter types of applications. Let's pop it in at 3. That's popping in at 2. That's popping in at 1. Again, and advance that also to 1. Change the light bulb to 2 and change the globe to 2.5. Yeah, I'll shorten these down a little bit. Maybe I don't need them all the way to 10 seconds. So there we are. So at this point, playing that slide. If we had some audio here, we're good. If not, that slide probably stayed on there a little bit too long. We might want to cut it off somewhere here once it's got all the particular application pieces on there. And now it's playing through the rest of the slide. I'm going to actually start it from the beginning so you can see what it's all about. So remember, we set up our image to disappear. Now we're moving to the next slide. And we'll finalize everything by moving to the last slide. So this is the end of part 1. I'm going to have a part 2 here. So I'm going to show you some more specifics about using Powtoon.